Imagine you're walking through the narrow, stone-paved streets of Florence, Italy, over 600 years ago. The air smells like fresh bread from a nearby bakery. Merchants are calling out their wares, and artists are painting in the open air. As you look up, your eyes widen in awe. A massive, beautiful building rises into the sky, topped by a huge red dome that seems to touch the clouds. This is Florence Cathedral, also called the Duomo, and it's one of the most amazing buildings in the world, even to this day. Florence Cathedral, whose full name is Santa Maria del Fiore, stands in the heart of the city of Florence. It's one of the greatest landmarks of Italy and a symbol of the city's rich history. The word Duomo simply means cathedral in Italian. This church took a very long time to build. Construction began in 1296 and wasn't truly finished until 1436, 140 years later. It was designed to be the biggest church in the world at the time, and it had to impress everyone who saw it. The outside of the cathedral is decorated with beautiful marble in green, white, and pink colors. It looks almost like a giant, fancy birthday cake. But the most amazing part of the whole building is the giant dome, called Brunelleschi's Dome. When it was completed in 1436, it was the largest dome ever built, and it still holds the record for the biggest brick dome in the world. Now let's talk about the man behind this incredible dome, Filippo Brunelleschi. He wasn't even trained as an architect at first. He started out as a goldsmith and a clockmaker. But Brunelleschi had a brilliant mind. When the cathedral was already under construction, people realized they had no idea how to build such a huge dome. It couldn't be supported by the usual wooden frames because it was far too big. No one knew how to solve the problem. Brunelleschi entered a competition to design the dome, and though many people didn't believe he could do it, his ideas were the most creative. He didn't share all his plans at first, keeping them secret until he was sure they would work. He won the job and started building something the world had never seen before. Instead of using wooden supports that would have been extremely large and heavy, Brunelleschi created a new way to build the dome, using a herringbone pattern of bricks. He laid the bricks in a special zigzag way so that they supported themselves as they went up level by level. He also used chains made of stone and iron to hold the whole structure together, kind of like a belt around the waist of the dome. This was very unusual at the time and very smart. The dome has two layers, an inner one and an outer one. This made it lighter than one thick wall. It also made it strong enough to stay up for centuries. Many engineers and builders came from all over Europe just to see how Brunelleschi was doing it, hoping to learn from his genius. One of the most incredible facts about the dome is that it was built without modern tools or machines. There were no cranes like we have today, so Brunelleschi even invented new machines to lift heavy materials high into the air. Some of his machines were so amazing that Leonardo da Vinci, the famous artist and inventor, studied them years later. When the dome was finally finished, it was topped with a golden ball and cross. On March 25, 1436, the cathedral was officially opened with a grand celebration. Music filled the air, people danced in the streets, and everyone looked up in wonder at what had been achieved. The Florence Cathedral and Brunelleschi's dome became a symbol of human creativity and determination. It also marked the beginning of a time in history known as the Renaissance. This was a period when people in Europe became very interested in art, science, and the wonders of the natural world. Florence was the center of it all, and the Duomo stood right in the middle, like the beating heart of a new world of ideas. Today, millions of people still visit the cathedral every year. They stand in the same square where people stood hundreds of years ago, looking up with awe at the great dome. If you're lucky enough to visit, you can even climb all the way to the top, over 400 steps. When you reach the top, you'll see an incredible view of Florence spread out below, just as it has looked for centuries. Brunelleschi once said that he who does not master the tools cannot master the work. His life reminds us that even if you start with one skill, like metalworking or making clocks, you can go on to achieve something truly great if you work hard, think creatively, and believe in your ideas.